This video is about the nanny was mocked but a millionaire stopped his car. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The nanny was mocked but a millionaire stopped his car. In the bustling neighborhood of Maplewood, where the scent of freshly baked bread merged with the laughter of children, Clara Bennett found herself navigating an unexpected chapter of her life. Clara, a single mother of two, had recently taken on a nannying job for the affluent Montgomery family. At first, it seemed like a golden opportunity. The pay was decent, as she was able to bring her children along to work, giving her a chance to save up for their future. However, as she stepped into the opulent home adorned with exquisite art and sparkling chandeliers, the initial excitement faded. Clara faced judgment from the Montgomerys, who often wore their disdain as a badge of honor. Their condescending remarks cut deeper than she cared to admit. "Beau, how sweet she is bringing her kids to work," Mrs. Montgomery had said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Clara held her chin high, determined not to let their mockery affect her. She reminded herself that every job she took was a step toward a better life for her children. The mornings were especially chaotic, juggling diaper bags, snacks, and her own kids' whims while caring for the Montgomerys twins was no small feat. Despite the challenges, Clara maintained a sense of hope. Every caress of her children's hair, every giggle during playtime reminded her that love and kindness were the most valuable treasures. But the outside world had a way of leeching that joy, often through the whispers of those who didn't understand her journey. One rainy afternoon, as Clara was returning from the park with both her children in tow, she overheard a group of mothers gossiping about her. "Can you believe she works as a nanny? How unrefined," one of them scoffed. Clara's heart sank, but she pressed on, clutching her children's hands tightly as they splashed in puddles, their laughter breaking through the grey skies. Later that night, as she tucked her kids into bed, Clara felt tears prick her eyes. "Mama, why do they say those things?" her 5-year-old daughter, Lily, asked innocently. Clara brushed her daughter's hair back, her heart aching. "Sometimes people don't understand our choices, sweetheart, but what matters is we know our worth." The next day, as she attempted to ignore the whispers and focus on her work, Clara found solace in the twins she cared for. They were sweet, imaginative little souls. Toby, the older of the two, had a knack for storytelling. "Clara, let me tell you about the brave knight who saved the day," he exclaimed with bright eyes. His storytelling ignited a spark within Clara. She had once dreamed of becoming a writer, weaving tales that could inspire others. But life had taken her down a different path. Yet every story, every adventure Toby shared reminded her that dreams don't just vanish, they transform, waiting for the right moment to resurface. On one particularly chaotic afternoon, Clara was juggling a tantrum from her daughter and a spilled juice cup from the twins when the doorbell rang. The Montgomerys had invited some of their high society friends for an afternoon gathering, and Clara knew she had to put on her best face. As she opened the door, she was met with a wave of laughter and chatter, the room instantly filling with disdainful glances aimed at her. The laughter washed over her like a cold wave, sending shivers down her spine. She felt small, insignificant amidst the grandeur of their lives. As she served hors d'oeuvres, she overheard snippets of conversation that stung. "Do you think she dreams of a better life, or is this it for her?" the one woman sneered. Clara forced a smile, but inside, something began to stir, a flicker of defiance. That evening, while driving home, she noticed a sleek black car slowly rolling up beside her. The window rolled down, revealing a well-dressed man, his eyes piercing yet kind. "Excuse me," he called. "Are you Clara Bennett?" Surprised, she nodded, her heart racing. "Yes, that is me. I am Nathaniel Harris," he introduced himself, his voice smooth like honey. "I saw you earlier, and I wanted to say you were doing a remarkable job." Clara blinked, taken aback. You saw that?" she stammered, her cheeks flushing. "I did, and honestly, I admire how you are raising your children with such grace. It is not easy, is it?" he asked, genuine concern etched on his face. Clara found herself speaking before she had the chance to overthink. "It has been tough, but I am trying to make it work. My kids are my everything." Nathaniel smiled, a warm, radiant smile that lit up the dim surroundings. "You are not just surviving, you are thriving," he replied. "I can see the love you carry for them. It is inspiring." In that moment, Clara felt a surge of warmth, a reminder that she wasn't alone. "It means a lot to hear that," she said, her voice wavering slightly. "Thank you." As the conversation continued, Nathaniel shared snippets of his own life, his struggles with expectations, and the pressures that came with wealth. People often forget that success isn't just about money, it is about meaningful connections and being true to yourself, he stated, his tone sincere. When they parted ways, Clara felt lighter. She realized that perhaps the world was not as cold as she had thought. Hope flickered anew within her, a reminder that kindness could appear in the most unexpected forms, even amidst the judgment she faced. The next day, armed with renewed vigor, Clara decided to channel her experiences into something positive. Inspired by Toby's stories, she began writing her own tale. She would weave the struggles she faced as a mother, the beauty of resilience, and the importance of kindness into a story that would uplift others. The days turned into weeks, and Clara found herself immersed in her writing whenever she had a moment to spare. Each word became a cathartic release, a way to process her challenges while celebrating the strength of the human spirit. She shared snippets with Lily and her son, Ben, who listened wide-eyed, their imaginations ignited. As Clara's story began to take shape, she also realized it was a way to teach her children about kindness and resilience. When we face challenges, we can either let them break us or use them to grow stronger, she told them, watching their faces light up with understanding. Then came the day when everything changed. She received an email that made her heart race. Nathaniel had reached out again, inviting her to a charity event he was hosting. "I'd love for you to share your story with others," he wrote. "Your voice matters." Clara stared at the screen in disbelief. Could she really do this? The thought terrified her, but deep down she felt an undeniable pull to rise to the occasion. She began drafting her speech, pouring her heart into every word, determined to inspire others just as Nathaniel had inspired her. The night of the event arrived. Clara stood backstage, her heart pounding as she watched the crowd shimmer under the chandeliers. She felt a wave of self-doubt wash over her. What if they don't want to hear my story? She whispered to herself, fighting back tears. But then she remembered her children's smiles, the support from Nathaniel, and the strength she had uncovered within herself. With each breath, she felt the flicker of hope rekindle. As she stepped onto the stage, the room quieted, anticipation filling the air. "Good evening, everyone," Clara began, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I am here to share a story not just mine, but ours, a story of resilience, love, and the power of kindness." As she spoke, the words flowed like a river, cascading down the valley of her experiences. Clara shared her struggles, her hopes, and the journey of a single mother fighting against the odds. The room felt alive with energy as she painted vivid images of her life, her passion igniting the hearts of those listening. When she finished, the applause that erupted felt like a warm embrace. Clara's heart soared, a testament to the beauty of sharing one's truth. In that moment, she realized she was not just a nanny, she was a beacon of hope, a storyteller illuminating the path for others. As she stepped off the stage, Nathaniel was waiting for her, pride shimmering in his eyes. "You were incredible," he said, wrapping her in a supportive hug. "You've touched so many lives tonight." Emboldened by the night's success, Clara understood that every challenge she faced was a stepping stone toward her dreams. Through kindness, resilience, and the beauty of the human spirit, she had transformed her journey into a story worth telling, a story that would continue to inspire. As Clara drove home, the weight of the world felt lighter. She was no longer just a woman mocked for her choices. She was a voice for the voiceless, a storyteller with the power to change lives. And in that moment, she realized that hope, like love, was a force that could conquer all. The glow of the street lights illuminated Clara's path as she drove home, a soft smile dancing on her lips. The applause still echoed in her heart, a reminder that her voice held power. The challenges she had faced were not just obstacles but stepping stones woven into the fabric of her journey. "Did you see how everyone clapped, Mana?" Lily chirped from the back seat, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You were like a princess on stage." Clara couldn't help but laugh. More like a storyteller, sweetheart, a storyteller who believes in the magic of every person's story. The joy in her daughter's laughter resonated through the car, wrapping around Clara like a warm blanket. Ben, her little artist, piped up from beside Lily. "Can I draw you on stage? Mama, you were so brave." "Of course, my love, I can't wait to see your drawing," Clara encouraged, her heart swelling with pride. When they arrived home, the evening air was filled with the familiar comfort of their small space. Clara tucked her children in, reading them a bedtime story that felt even more meaningful after her night on stage. She reveled in their laughter, their innocent questions, and the warmth of their presence. Later that night, Clara sat at her kitchen table with her laptop open, ready to dive back into her writing. The words poured out as if they had been waiting for her to unlock the floodgates. She wrote of struggles, of perseverance, and of the beauty that arises from vulnerability. Each chapter felt like a piece of her heart lay bare, and she was grateful for the outlet. As she wrote, her thoughts began to wander to Nathaniel. They had shared a connection, a bond forged in mutual admiration and understanding. It was rare to find someone who saw beyond the surface, who recognized the strength in her journey. She typed a quick email, thanking him for his support and expressing how much his kindness had meant. The next morning, Clara awoke to a reply from Nathaniel. "Your story is important, Clara. I believe in you and your message. Let us talk about how we can work together to inspire others." Her heart raced as she read the words. Work together? She couldn't help but wonder what that could mean. The possibilities felt endless, but there was also a flicker of doubt. Could she really step into a role where her voice held weight? Gathering her courage, Clara decided to meet Nathaniel for coffee the next day. It was time to explore this opportunity. The coffee shop was bustling, filled with the aroma of roasted beans and the warm chatter of patrons. Clara spotted Nathaniel seated by a window, a welcoming smile lighting up his face. "Clara," he said, standing to greet her. "I am so glad you came." His energy was infectious, putting her at ease. "Thank you for inviting me," she replied, taking a seat. "I am excited, but also a bit terrified." "Perfectly normal," Nathaniel assured her. "Change can be daunting, but it is also where growth happens. I want to help you share your story with a larger audience." As they chatted, Nathaniel explained his plans for a community initiative focused on empowering single parents. "We want to create workshops, bring in speakers, and share stories that uplift. You'd be a fantastic addition, Clara." Clara's heart fluttered. "But what do I know about public speaking? I am just a nanny." Nathaniel leaned closer, his eyes earnest. "You're not just anything. Your voice resonates. You have a gift for storytelling, and the world needs to hear it. You've inspired everyone at the event. Imagine the impact you could have on a larger scale." Clara's mind raced. She envisioned parents like herself worn down by judgment, struggling to find their way. "What if I don't know what to say?" she asked, doubt creeping in again. "Then we'll figure it out together," Nathaniel replied, his words laced with encouragement. "We can host workshops where we help each other. You'll find your rhythm." As they talked, the flicker of hope blossomed in Clara's heart. The possibility of creating something meaningful ignited her spirit. "Okay," she said, a determined smile breaking across her face. "Let us do it." Weeks rolled by, filled with meetings, brainstorming sessions, and growing excitement. Clara found herself surrounded by a community of parents who shared their struggles, joys, and resilience. Each story was a thread woven into a vibrant tapestry of hope. She also began to see herself differently. The doubts that once held her back were slowly dissipating. With Nathaniel's guidance, Clara prepared to speak at the first workshop. She felt the familiar butterflies flutter in her stomach, but also a newfound sense of purpose. On the day of the workshop, Clara stood backstage, listening to the murmur of voices filling the room. She took a deep breath, reminding herself of her journey. "You are not alone," she thought. "Your story matters." When it was her turn, Clara stepped onto the stage, and the energy shifted. She greeted the audience warmly, her confidence growing with each word. Clara began to share her experiences with empathy and honesty, highlighting the beauty of resilience and the power of kindness. "I once felt small and insignificant," she shared, her heart on her sleeve. "But I realized that every one of us has a story worth telling. It is not about being perfect, it is about embracing our imperfections and learning from them." The room was silent, captivated by her authenticity. Clara could see parents nodding along, their eyes reflecting understanding and shared struggles. "We are all navigating our paths, often filled with challenges, but within those challenges lies an opportunity for growth, for kindness, and for connection." As she spoke, Clara saw the light in their eyes, the same light that had sparked within her when Nathaniel had first reached out. She felt the weight of her words and the impact they could have. By the time she concluded, the applause that erupted felt like a wave of affirmation. "Thank you, Clara," someone called from the audience, their voice filled with sincerity. "You've given me hope." Tears brimmed in Clara's eyes. She realized then that she was no longer just a single mother trying to navigate life. She was part of a larger narrative, a community of resilient souls. After the workshop, parents approached her, sharing their stories and thanking her for her vulnerability. Clara felt the warmth of connection wrap around her like a comforting embrace. It was a reminder that they were all in this together, each story a thread in the same fabric of humanity. That evening, as Clara tucked her children in, she felt a profound sense of gratitude. I met some incredible people today, guys, she exclaimed, her heart filled with joy. They reminded me how important it is to lift each other up. Ben smiled sleepily. Like superheroes? Exactly, we are superheroes in our own stories, Clara replied, kissing them goodnight. As she sat down to write, Clara found herself reflecting on how far she had come. The struggle had shaped her, but it was the kindness of strangers and the connections she had forged that had ignited her spirit anew. She was no longer just a voice, she was a beacon of hope. Her phone pinged with a message from Nathaniel. You were amazing today. Your story touched so many lives. Together, we'll create a movement. Clara smiled, knowing that she had found her purpose. With every story shared, every connection made, she was helping to illuminate the unique beauty of the human spirit. As she wrote, Clara realized that life was a tapestry woven with threads of struggle, resilience, and hope. And from the depths of her heart, she knew that every story mattered, especially her own. The journey had just begun, and she was ready to embrace every moment, hand in hand with her children and the community that had become her family. The world was waiting, and Clara was determined to share the beauty within her story. The sun rose over Maplewood, casting a golden hue that filtered through Clara's living room window. The warmth washed over her like a comforting embrace, filling her with hope for the day ahead. It was a new beginning, one she approached with excitement and trepidation. Mama, can we make pancakes? Lily's sleepy voice broke the silence of the morning. Of course, sweetheart, let us make them extra fluffy today, Clara replied, her heart swelling with joy. Cooking with her children was one of her favorite moments, a ritual that bonded them in laughter and flour dust. As they prepared the batter, Clara's thoughts drifted back to the workshop from the day before. The way the parents had responded to her story lingered in her mind. She could almost hear their voices echoing, filled with gratitude and understanding. It was a reminder that vulnerability had power, that sharing her truth could light a spark in someone else's journey. Can I help? Ben asked, his eyes wide with eagerness. Absolutely, you can be my special helper, Clara smiled, handing him a whisk. As they mixed the ingredients, she felt the warmth of their shared laughter enveloping the kitchen. After breakfast, Clara decided to dedicate the day to crafting her next speech. She set her laptop on the kitchen table and opened a blank document, her heart racing with anticipation. She wanted to weave together the stories she had heard, the journeys of parents who felt overlooked just like she once had. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Clara's fingers began to dance across the keyboard. For hours, she wrote, pouring her heart into each line. She recounted the tales of strength she had gathered from her fellow workshop participants, the single fathers who had overcome addiction, the mothers grappling with isolation, and the caregivers who had faced unimaginable loss. Suddenly, the front door swung open, and Lily burst in, her cheeks flushed with excitement. Mama, can we go to the park? I want to show Mr. Jenkins my drawing. Clara looked up, startled from her creative trance. Of course, my love, I just need to finish up this paragraph, and then we'll head out, okay? Lily nodded vigorously, her youthful energy a reminder of the joyous moments that awaited them. Clara quickly typed the last lines and saved her work, a smile spreading across her face as she watched her daughter bounce around the room. At the park, Clara felt the sun warm her skin while the laughter of children filled the air. She watched Lily excitedly show off her drawing to Mr. Jenkins, the elderly neighbor who had a penchant for storytelling. Clara admired the way he listened, his eyes twinkling as he commented on her creativity. Looks like you have a real artist on your hands, Clara, Mr. Jenkins chuckled, sitting on the park bench. I hope so. She has been inspired by the stories I've been writing, Clara replied, her heart swelling with pride. You are doing remarkable work, he said, his voice soft but firm. It takes courage to share your journey, especially when the world often tries to silence those who need to be heard the most. Clara felt warmth flush through her as she absorbed his words. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins, that means a lot. I am learning that our stories are what connect us. Indeed, he agreed, glancing at Lily. And the more we share, the more we grow together. As they wrapped up their day at the park, Clara felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. The interactions, the laughter, and the support of her community felt like fuel for her soul. Later that night, as Clara tucked her children into bed, Lily's eyes sparkled with curiosity. Mama, what are you going to talk about next time? I think I'll share a story about how we can turn our struggles into strength, Clara replied, brushing back Lily's hair. How even when things get tough, we can find hope and kindness. Like the brave knight? Lily asked, her eyes wide with excitement. Exactly, my love, just like the brave knight, Clara smiled, pulling the blanket up to her daughter's chin. As Clara settled in her own bed that night, her heart was a whirlwind of emotions. She reflected on Mr. Jenkins' words and the power of connection. She had started this journey feeling small and unsure, but now she felt a sense of purpose blossoming within her. The following week flew by, filled with preparation for the next workshop. Clara was eager to delve deeper into the theme of resilience. She spent her evenings refining her message, transforming her initial fears into inspiration. On the day of the workshop, Clara arrived early, her heart beating with anticipation. The room was filled with parents, some familiar faces and some new, all eager to share their stories. She felt a thrill of excitement as she mingled, each conversation weaving threads of connection. "Clara, I was so inspired by your last talk," a mother named Jenna said, her eyes shining. "I've been thinking about how I can share my own story with others." "That's wonderful," Clara replied, her voice filled with encouragement. "Your experiences matter, Jenna. The world needs to hear them." As the workshop began, Clara felt the energy in the room shift. She took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage, her heart racing. "Good evening, everyone," she started, her voice trembling slightly. "I am so grateful to be here with you all again." As she began to share her story, she felt the familiar warmth of connection. "Today, I want to talk about resilience, how we can rise from our struggles and embrace the journeys we are on. Each of us has faced challenges that have shaped us, but it is important to remember that we are not alone in our battles." Clara recounted her own experiences, the judgments she faced, the moments of defeat, and the powerful connections that had lifted her spirits. "Every story is a thread in the fabric of our community," she said, her voice growing stronger. "By sharing, we can weave a tapestry of hope that uplifts us all." As she spoke, she noticed heads nodding, tears glistening in the eyes of those listening. Clara felt a wave of purpose wash over her. We can choose to channel our struggles into something beautiful. We can be the knights in our own stories, fighting for our dreams and lifting one another up. When Clara finished, the applause that erupted felt like a collective sigh of relief, a celebration of shared understanding. As parents approached her one by one, their stories poured forth like a river of connection. "I never thought I could share my past," Jenna said, her voice quivering. "But hearing you today inspires me to speak up." "You're not alone, Jenna," Clara assured her, pulling her into a gentle embrace. "Your voice matters, and I believe in you." After the event, Clara found herself standing outside, the cool air wrapping around her like a comforting shawl. Nathaniel approached, a proud smile on his face. "You are incredible, Clara. You have a gift for touching hearts." "Thank you, Nathaniel," she replied, her heart swelling with gratitude. "It feels amazing to know that our stories are creating a ripple effect." "Let us keep the momentum going," he suggested. "I believe we can make this a regular initiative, helping more parents find their voices." Clara's heart raced at the thought. "I'd love that together. We can create a community where every story is cherished." In the weeks that followed, Clara and Nathaniel worked tirelessly to expand their initiative. They organized more workshops, inviting speakers from various backgrounds, each with unique stories of resilience and hope. The community began to flourish, parents connecting on deeper levels, sharing experiences that uplifted them all. One evening, as Clara sat at her kitchen table, she felt overwhelmed with gratitude. She had received countless messages from parents who felt empowered to share their stories, and she knew they were making a difference. Lily and Ben entered the room, their faces beaming with excitement. "Mama, we made a surprise for you," Lily exclaimed, holding up a colorful poster. Clara's heart swelled as she took in the artwork. "Wow, this is beautiful. You too. What is it?" "It is a picture of you on stage," Ben said proudly, showing off their drawings of Clara surrounded by smiling faces. "You inspire people, Mama." Tears brimmed in Clara's eyes as she embraced her children. "You both inspire me every day. Thank you for reminding me of the power of love." As Clara gazed at their artwork, she felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew their journey was far from over, and while challenges would continue to arise, she was equipped with the strength of her community and the love of her children. She understood that through sharing their stories, they could continue to uplift each other and create a brighter future. Months passed, and as the community initiative grew, so did Clara's confidence. She found herself stepping into roles she had once thought impossible, embracing the power of her voice while empowering others to do the same. One sunny afternoon, Clara received a call inviting her to speak at a larger event, one that promised to reach audiences beyond Maplewood. It was an opportunity to share her story on a grander scale to inspire even more people who felt lost, lonely, and unheard. Her heart raced with excitement. "I'd love to. Thank you for this opportunity," she replied, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her. ***, the nanny was mocked, but a millionaire stopped his car. Part 4 ***. The weeks leading up to Clara's speaking engagement felt like a whirlwind of emotions. Each day she awoke with a mixture of excitement and trepidation, her heart racing at the thought of sharing her story with a larger audience. This was the chance to reach out to others who felt like she once had, lost and overlooked in a world that often seemed indifferent. "Mama, why are you pissing?" Lily's small voice broke through her thoughts one morning as Clara stood by the window, staring at the streets of Maplewood, deep in contemplation. Caught off guard, Clara turned. "Just thinking, sweet pea, about the big day I have coming up." Ben wandered in, his cereal bowl in hand, eyebrows furrowed. "Are you nervous?" "A little," Clara admitted, kneeling to meet their gazes. "But I also feel a lot of joy. You know why?" The siblings exchanged glances, their faces lighting up. "Because you were gonna make people smile?" Lily answered, her voice brimming with innocence. "Exactly." Clara beamed, her heart swelling at the wisdom her children shared. "And you know what else? Every time I share my story, it's like I am helping someone else feel seen." Ben nodded vigorously. "Like superheroes," he declared. "Exactly like superheroes," Clara echoed, her heart full as she reached out to hug them. "Now let us get ready. We have some pancakes to make." As they prepared breakfast, Clara felt a surge of determination. The morning light streamed through the kitchen window, illuminating their laughter and the simple joy of family time. Each moment felt like a reminder of why she was doing this, the hope that each person she touched might go on to inspire others. When the day of the event arrived, Clara dressed carefully, choosing a soft blue dress that made her feel both confident and comfortable. "You look pretty, Mom," Lily said, her eyes twinkling with admiration. "Thank you, darling," Clara replied, her voice warm. "I want to show everyone how wonderful it is when we embrace our true selves." As Clara drove to the venue, thoughts fluttered in her mind like autumn leaves. What if she forgot her words? What if the audience didn't connect? But then she remembered Nathaniel's voice, filled with encouragement. "Change is where growth happens," he had said, "and your story deserves to be heard." Arriving at the venue, Clara parked her car and took a deep breath. The building loomed ahead, its polished facade reflecting the sun, as if to say, "You belong here." She stepped out, her heart pounding with anticipation and apprehension. The hall was buzzing with chatter, and as Clara entered, she was greeted with warm smiles from familiar faces, fellow parents from the workshops, their eyes filled with support. Nathaniel was there, standing at the front, his presence a calming force. "There you are," he exclaimed, coming over to her. "You're going to be amazing. Just remember, you're not alone in this." "Thank you," Clara said, her nerves starting to settle at his words. "I can't believe how far I've come. Just a few months ago, I would have never imagined speaking here." "Every step has led you to this moment," he reminded her. "Own your story, Clara. The audience is ready to connect." Taking a deep breath, Clara stepped onto the stage, the bright lights illuminating her presence. She glanced around the room, taking in the faces filled with anticipation and warmth. It was daunting yet exhilarating. "Good evening, everyone," she began, her voice steady despite the flutter in her chest. "I am Clara Bennett, a mother, a nanny, and a storyteller. I stand before you today not just to share my story, but to remind you that every one of us has a story deserving of light." She felt the energy shift in the room, a palpable connection forming as she shared her journey, the struggles of being a single mother, the moments of doubt, and the powerful community that had emerged through vulnerability. "I used to feel small, mocked for my choices, but I have learned that my worth doesn't come from others' opinions, it comes from within." Clara noticed heads nodding, tears shimmering in the eyes of some attendees. She continued, sharing snippets of her experiences with empathy and authenticity. "Each of us faces challenges that shape who we are, but it is through those challenges that we discover our strength and resilience." As she spoke, Clara shared stories from the workshops where parents had opened up, revealing their own battles and triumphs. One mother, Jenna, told her story of overcoming isolation and fear. When she shared her truth, she inspired others to find their voices. Together, we can create a ripple effect of hope. Feeling the warmth of connection, Clara allowed her heart to guide her. When we share our stories, we weave a tapestry of support. We become each other's knights, fighting for our dreams and lifting one another up. We are not alone. Not now. Not ever. The room erupted in applause as Clara finished, the sound reverberating like a collective sigh of relief. She stepped off the stage, breathless yet elated. The connection she had forged with the audience felt tangible, a reminder of the beauty that came from sharing. One by one, parents approached her, their voices full of sincerity. Thank you for sharing. I felt seen tonight, her father said, his eyes glistening with gratitude. Clara felt her heart swell. You are not alone in this journey, your voice matters. As she mingled with the attendees, Clara felt enveloped in a community of kindness and resilience. It was exhilarating to share stories, to hear the struggles and dreams of others. Together, they created an atmosphere of hope. Later that evening, as Clara drove home, she reflected on the event and the warmth that enveloped her heart. It was exhilarating to witness the impact of their stories, the connections forged through vulnerability. The world outside her car felt different, brighter somehow. When she arrived home, the familiar sound of laughter greeted her. "Mama, you were amazing," Lily shouted, running to meet her at the door. "Thank you, sweetheart. I was so nervous, but your smiles gave me strength," Clara replied, kneeling to wrap her arms around her daughter. Ben bounded in, eyes wide. "Did you make them cry? You were so good at telling stories." "More like I helped them find hope," Clara laughed, holding her children close. "Now, tell me about your day. Did you draw more pictures for me?" They spent the evening sharing stories, Clara's heart filled with love as she realized that her journey wasn't just her own, it was shared with her children, a legacy of hope and resilience. As Clara tucked her children into bed that night, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. "Mama, are you going to tell your story again?" Lily asked, her voice sleepy yet hopeful. "Yes, my love, and I'll keep telling it for as long as it can help others," Clara replied, brushing Lily's hair back lovingly. "What matters is that we lift each other up, no matter what." With that promise hanging in the air, Clara's heart felt light as she settled into bed. She reflected on her journey, the struggles that had once felt insurmountable now transforming into stepping stones toward hope and inspiration. These turned into weeks, and Clara found herself immersed in the rhythm of her new role. The workshops continued to grow, each one bringing more parents together, more stories of resilience shared. Clara felt a sense of fulfillment as she watched others embrace their narratives, their voices echoing with strength. One afternoon, as Clara prepared for another workshop, the doorbell rang. She opened it to find Nathaniel standing there, a beaming smile on his face. "Clara, I have exciting news," he exclaimed, his energy palpable. "We've been invited to collaborate with a larger organization looking to expand our initiative. This could help even more parents find their voices." Her heart soared at the thought. "That is incredible. Yes, let us do it," Clara replied, the possibilities igniting her spirit. Over the next few months, they worked tirelessly to create a program that not only provided workshops, but also gathered stories to publish, showcasing the resilience of parents everywhere. Clara felt a sense of purpose she had never known before. One evening, as Clara sat at her kitchen table, surrounded by her children's artwork and her own notes, she felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. "We're doing this, guys, together. We're making a difference," she said, looking at Lily and Ben, their faces bright with pride. "Yes, you're like a superhero," Ben shouted, his enthusiasm infectious. "Together, we are a family of superheroes," Clara affirmed, her heart swelling. "And we will continue to inspire others, one story at a time." As the sun set over Maplewood, Clara knew their journey was just beginning. Each challenge faced had brought them closer together, and every story shared added another thread to the tapestry of hope they were weaving. With resilience, kindness, and the unwavering love of her children, Clara was ready to embrace every moment. And so, standing on the precipice of new beginnings, Clara felt the beauty of her journey unfold, a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a reminder that together, their stories would continue to light the way for those searching for hope.